Welcome to the studio.
What kind of flower does this look like?
I love that. Hello my friends! Welcome back to the vlog. It's another week. I have some news. My kiln kaputzt. What does that mean? It decided that it needs some replacement parts. Basically it was like heating up too slow and then it was beeping really loud, and so I shut it off. I did some diagnostic tests on it, and I guess the elements, which these coils on the inside, they basically heat up the kiln because it's electric. So the elements on the inside need to be replaced. That means I can't fire anything this week. This week is gonna be more about making stuff than it is about finishing. I have a like a pop-up art walk coming up in March. So basically all I have to do for the rest of this month is build up my inventory for that art walk, and also I need to get started on my dream. This week we are getting started on doing like the tests of my dream. My dream is to create a gallery series. I've done multiple gallery series of paintings. I used to mostly be a painter, but now I would really love to create a gallery series out of completely out of ceramics. I want to do wall hanging, freestanding pieces. I kind of want to like personify like flowers, which will be really interesting. So today I want to do some tests on flowers. How am I going to make the flower? Am I making a tulip? Am I making a poppy? Am I, like what kind of flower am I going to use? How am I going to make those flowers? Petals can be really extremely fragile, so I want to be able to make petals that can, survive the kiln, survive movement, and potentially shipping if I have to ship maybe to France. Because that's the goal, that's the dream. We're gonna get started on that today. Today is going to be a studio day. This week we've got, it's basically just feels like a fun week. All of the Valentine's stuff, kind of finished that off. I feel relieved. I feel like a weight off my shoulders. All of my heart mugs that I made kind of like flew off the shelves in the in-person shops. So I was very grateful about that, because online sales for Valentine's Day, so slow. Like this year, nobody decided to plan ahead for Valentine's Day. Everyone decided it was a last minute situation, which is a bummer, but totally fine. That's why we've got in-person shops as well. So let's get started. Welcome to the studio. This is the front room. We have a lot of Stroking Co paints, which is for mostly like our pre-made paint stuff, but I use these glazes quite often. Then when you enter in this area, we have our wheels, we have wedging table, we've got our trimming area, a bathroom, glaze specific sinks, clay specific sinks. Then we have our glazing area over here. Back in this room we've got the kilns. These are the giant kilns. They're gorgeous. Yeah, this is where I spend most of my time.
What kind of flower does this look like?
Tulip.
Yes.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. Sophie, what kind of flower is this?
A peony?
Peony. I like it. Yeah.
I'm thinking the tulip might be the best option because the petals kind of come in, even though I love the look of the poppy with the petals out wide and the little pieces in the middle. Oh, I think that's so beautiful. but I worry about the like structural pieces. It could get hit easily, break, crack, and then it looks terrible. So the tulip is just rounded and small, so I think the tulip might be the best way. I also saw that tulips kind of have like different variations. Like there's tulips that are droopy, purposefully droopy. There are tulips that are more open, and then tulips can be really closed up. And I feel like that could be something really interesting in terms of personification. So that would be a fascinating thing. The other thing I need to think about is like how accurate do I want this flower to be to an actual tulip? Because tulips have their own meaning, right? Tulips kind of like, every flower has like its own symbolism, right? So do I want a flower that has its own symbolism? Maybe, let's see what the tulip, it symbolizes perfect deep love, rebirth, and charity. That's actually really, really wonderful. I actually might like that. That might actually cross into the meaning perfectly. So I guess the different colors are significant as well. In the Persian Turkish tale, tulips bloomed in spirit blood, representing the ultimate sacrifice of love. I think that's perfect. I love that. These aren't going to be colored. They're going to be white with no speckles. So that was kind of the goal. I looked up online that we need 6 petals, and it's kind of like a triangle. So that's interesting. I also learned that I can attach the petals to the stem so much easier than trying to attach the stem after the fact. And then while I was making this, someone at the studio came up to me and said, "Why don't you put high fire wire in there to help hold your shape?" Yeah, brilliant idea. I will definitely be doing that. Thank you. I think what I'm going to do, because high fire wire can go into the kiln, to help hold up the flower, the head is pretty heavy. And the stem, I want to maintain like the thin, the delicate thinness of a stem without looking too chunky. Like I would like it to be somewhat close to an actual flower, right? So putting some high fire wire in there might be the perfect way to maintain the shape, because I want these flowers to be able to bend and move, not after they've been fired, but like I want them to have like movement in the shape, if you know what I mean. So like if the tulip part, the actual flower, is the head that we're personifying, then, and maybe the leaves are more like the arms and the stem is the body, then I would like to be able to add some movement and position them in a way that gives it even more character. So for the leaves, this is another interesting thing. I kind of like the idea of the tulip because the leaves are quite big. They're not like thin and dainty, little delicate little leaves, even though that would be gorgeous and I would love to dive into doing that eventually. I think for what I'm going for, and the amount of flowers that I'm potentially going to make for this, I think that these flat, wider leaf pieces might be the best fit. And I like that you can make them really long, you can make them shorter, they can be wavy, they can be kind of close up to the flower stem. They can intertwine with each other, so that would be very fascinating to play with. I think these specific ones, I made them a little bit too narrow. I think they naturally are quite a bit wider, but again, I don't necessarily have to do anything exactly accurate. It could be totally different and totally unique to what I want it to be. Nobody's gonna come in there to a gallery show with a checklist saying, you forgot the stamen. The stamen? The stamen? The inside pieces? No. Everyone's gonna look at it as art and take it in as, they'll make their own meaning out of it. You know what I mean? Well, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me. I had a lot of fun kind of figuring some things out. I know I have a lot more pieces of this puzzle that I need to figure out before I can really like dive into making the actual pieces. So that will be coming up next. Next week we're gonna do quite a bit more and actually get started on our first piece, which I can't wait. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope your week is wonderful and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.